Hello everyone, welcome back to The Data Pour. I'm Steve McLaughlin, Head of Data at EPON Technologies, and today I am joined by my friend Todd Dube, Senior Architect of Data Analytics and Machine Learning at CarMax. Todd, how are you doing, man?
Awesome, Steve. Thanks for having me. I think this is awesome.
Of course, yeah, thank you for...
Great idea, and I love the concept, and
it's super fun.
Coffee.
We drink coffee, sometimes we drink beer. It's a little early for drinking beer here, but maybe, season 2, we'll catch you again, something like that. We will talk a little bit about coffee, because today Todd showed off it's an Ember machine, right?
Emblem, yeah.
Emblem, not Ember.
It's our upgrade from standard office poured coffee.
Right. And, we were saying, as far as free office coffee goes, not bad.
I think it's a great upgrade because
Not
that dripped office coffee in the canteens,
yeah,
not so much.
Not so great. No, that's typically not so good.
I can get a cappuccino. I'm a cappuccino snob.
Yeah, the cappuccino's not
Currently
bad.
a cappuccino snob. That's my current flavor of choice for the year.
Okay, fair. I got the Colombian roast, and it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So, all right, let's jump right in. Yeah. Todd, tell me a little bit about yourself and your role at CarMax.
Yeah. So I joined CarMax a little over 6 years ago to work on just cool data analytics projects. I worked for several consulting companies prior for that. CarMax was actually one of my customers.
Okay.
Built up a good relationship with Michael Benita, and I just really wanted to start doing things. Sometimes in consulting, it's either you kind of sell it, start doing it, then you kind of step away, let others do that. And I really just wanted to get the hands-on.
That's one of the most heartbreaking things about consulting. I often think about that. You rarely get to see things all the way through fruition, right? Sometimes, but
or you do, and you're ancillary involved,
right?
Because you got other smart people working on it.
That's
and
right.
Stuff like that. So,
yeah.
And it was such a great opportunity. He and I hit it off, and I've been very happy with the change. So got involved in a lot of really cool things, in the cloud, got really involved in a lot of cool things with Data Lake, setting up the first machine learning teams here at CarMax.
Yeah, very cool.
5 years ago.
You guys have really kind of led the charge too.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Challenging, but fun.
And we're in your newest office here in Midtown Richmond. Any interesting things you'd like to share about this great space?
This is the old Hat Factory Distribution Center. So actually the floor we walked down on, I think it still has train tracks underneath it.
Oh, cool.
This used to be like the Virginia Taxation Building. And then I don't know what it was before, but they used to distribute shoes. I think it was shoes that came out of here.
Yep.
They'd pull the trains in, load the shoes up.
Very cool.
So I think some of it's still preserved. That's why the floor kind of steps up, I think.
Does it still kind of smell like new shoes anywhere in the building?
God.
Okay.
Or old shoes. No, thank God. Yeah. It doesn't. So it's a super cool building. I love the location. We've got Whole Foods, City Diner, which is a great breakfast place right across the street. You got Starbucks across the street. And you also got Chicken Fiesta. Some good food options.
Let's be real. Chicken Fiesta is like the #1 draw of this location.
Cooked roasted chicken. Chicken fresh on a rotisserie. That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I'm already hungry, and it's early in the morning. So, Todd, I've come prepared with some interesting facts about coffee machines. For each episode, I try to either we talk about the beverage we're drinking at the location, or I try to have some interesting just tidbits. So I'm going to share with you a couple, and then I'll move into my next set of questions for you.
I hope I know the answers, or I hope I can contribute.
Oh, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm going to educate you, because this is fun. All right, 1865 was the first ever coffee percolator. It was introduced and patented by James Nason from Massachusetts. And years later, it became improved to be a stovetop percolator. So this is kind of the beginning of modern coffee as we know it. And then later in 1884, the first espresso machine was born. This was patented by Angelo Moriando. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And the original espresso machine was a flop. People did not like it. So we'll touch on some more.
What country was it in? Did you research that?
I don't recall. I want to say it was
Probably
Italy. I believe it was Italy. Yeah. Italy and France were kind of, they had a coffee cold war. Maybe it was a hot war. They were very much like competing with each other and improving on each other's designs. So we'll talk some more about that in a little bit. But before we do that, tell me more about your background, Todd. How'd you come into the world of technology? And maybe prior to CarMax, what led your career to where it is today?
It's I started off as an IT manager many years ago at a truck upfitting company in Michigan. My background was technology. Worked for a small retailer before that. Helped them with technology in the store, but I was a store manager.
Okay.
Kind of stuff kind of early out of school, and just got into it. Became a technology manager, and then I saw kind of everyone kind of getting into the web of things and whatnot. And I pivoted over to working for a Department of Energy company that no longer exists, Allied Signal. I did web-based stuff, web-based access, database accesses. Back in the days of Perl script, Bash script.
Sure.
We didn't have to worry about security.
The good old days.
Good old
the
days.
Wild West.
The Wild West. That was a really cool job. I pivoted out of that. It was awesome. My wife and I were living in Lawrence, Kansas. Great college town.
Okay.
I mean, if I could pick a college town to probably move back to, that'd probably be one of them.
Okay.
Just super cool. KU, it's just Main
okay.
Street's just filled with bars and restaurants.
I know nothing about it, but I would not have expected a
it's
place in Kansas. No offense.
Super cool. It's about 45 minutes out of Kansas City.
Okay.
But it was cool. So my wife and I, we wanted to start a family. Like
Sure.
we were married, and let's start a family. Find a place that's probably pretty good with family and stuff like that. So I interviewed with a company called Harris Entertainment. They're out of Memphis, needed a senior program analyst, and I went there and I worked for them for almost 12 years.
Wow. Okay.
Went to Memphis, moved to Las Vegas for them. We did kind of the cool active data warehousing, reading real time out of data warehouse stuff. I was a developer, lead developer, and the manager. It was always in data. I've always kind of been, one of the truck equipment company. I was always about the data.
Yeah.
Are they inputting work orders correctly? And I'd be like, look, if your reports say this, that's because your guys put in the wrong information.
Well, at the end of the day, kind of all roads lead to data.
Yeah.
Right? Like business processes, they're rely on data. Software development is kind of about moving and manipulating data.
Yeah.
So,
and that was my biggest thing with that truck company I worked for was they would complain about the output, the reports. I'm like, well, this is what your guys are inputting.
Oh, sure.
And so how do you prevent that? And
Yeah.
but not just I've always been in data. When I went to Harris and Caesars, they drove their business. They thought their data was important and rich, and they drove a lot of business and decisions off the data. So I just got involved in all that stuff, and and I came here to work for Circuit City Stores.
Yeah.
They've kind of
Circuit City, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Pour one
Cheers.
out for Circuit City. Yep.
And that was a great job. Pivot into some consulting. Where can I get back into consulting and do things that kind of leverage data analytics and stuff like that? And worked for Ironworks for a bit.
Yes.
Great little small company. Loved all those
Great
guys
folks.
there. John Bowman was a great guy. He and I had a lot of good conversations on our one-on-ones in the office
Yeah.
during those days. But then I had to get back into doing the real data stuff. So
Right.
went to Teradata.
Okay.
Because
I didn't
that's
know you
what I
were
knew.
Teradata.
I worked for
Interesting.
Teradata. I
Cool.
did 2 stints with them.
Okay.
Worked with them. It was great. Got pulled away to work for TIPCO. It was another
Yep.
company
Yeah.
I was used to working with. Did some cool stuff with them, with energy companies. It was good, but I was a road jockey for them. I was gone Monday
Sure.
through
That gets hard,
Friday
especially when
night.
you've got a young family.
Monday through Friday nights.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Went back to Teradata. That was good, and then ended up here.
Okay.
So
Very
I
cool.
love it here because we are passionate about our data, passionate about how we make decisions. We invest in it. We know it's rich.
Yes.
And we're smart about how we use it. We're not like not out there haphazardly using it. We're very smart and very intentional, continuing to follow Carmax values, which is a big thing we always pride ourselves on. We follow their data.
And I think Carmax has just been a kind of thought leader in the data space for some time. I mean, maybe for me it's just location bias, but I feel like so many things I've seen, have come out of Carmax, thought leadership coming out of Carmax, kind of just leading the way of being kind of truly data driven. And really, I think from the get-go, and even some of the things I know, that how, Carmax procures cars and all that stuff, I'm like, this is so data rich and so data driven. That's got to be awesome. I'm sure you learned so much so quickly.
It's awesome. It took a while to understand the business.
Sure.
And now, I've come into my own, I think, understanding. I don't like talking about myself, but I think, I feel very comfortable talking about where Carmax business is, especially with our associates, and we're working on projects and just understanding things and whatnot. It took a few years because there's nooks and crannies of our business you just don't even think about where, that where we drive data. But what I love about Carmax is we always apply our values.
Sure.
In everything we do, it comes from the top down. But even when we think about how we use our data and make sure we're doing the right things and stuff like that, it's to me that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And makes it very intentional. And we're doing the right thing.
I love that.
For data.
Before we dig in a little bit more, I love asking folks, if you weren't in technology, what do you think you'd be doing today? We can, whatever caveats you want, money's no object, blah, blah, blah. What would you be doing if you weren't in technology?
It's my super nerdiness, and you'll probably understand where this comes from.
Yep.
I love retro gaming, old arcade machines. I'm a huge Galaga.
Yeah. Okay.
I probably own an arcade.
Yeah.
I love the concept, like the Draftcade that's out in Short
yeah.
I think there's
Barcade, Circuit, all those
Barcade,
places.
Circuit. That to me, that is just
Yeah.
super nostalgic and nerdy for me. I'd probably be doing that, or I'd probably be on YouTube with one of those YouTube guys that are repairing computers.
Yes.
Some of
I
these
can
guys,
see you.
I watch these guys doing that, and they've left their jobs because they make enough money on
Right,
YouTube.
right.
I
And
probably
you're
do
a great educator and presenter, so I can see you doing that. I can see you on YouTube right now. Hey, everyone, welcome back to Todd's Arcade.
Yeah, I'm just jealous I get to wear a mic that I see the guys on YouTube wear. So I'm pretty happy with that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's probably what I would be doing. But would it be enough to afford
Sure.
the life I have now? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
would hope.
Technology opens a lot of doors. Awesome. Well, why don't we jump in on some more coffee machine facts,
Oh,
and
great.
then we'll get back to asking you questions. All right, here we go. We're progressing on the timeline. First espresso machine, kind of a flop, but people improve on ideas. So 1901, this is in Milan, Milanese mechanic Luigi Bezzera decided to make a number of significant improvements to that initial espresso machine that was a flop, and he made it possible to prepare the drink much faster than it used to. It used to take a long time. So all of a sudden, this is much more approachable, maybe not as fast as your Emblem machine, spits some coffee out, but suddenly making this a lot more approachable. Then in 1906, I'm gonna definitely mess up this pronunciation, Desiderio Pavoni, I don't know.
Oh, it's Pavoni.
Pavoni,
Yeah.
yes. The founder of the world famous La Pavoni brand, so there you go, bought Bezzera's copyright to start producing espresso machines, and for the first time made them available commercially. First few units debuted at the Milan Fair in the same year. Then in 1908, German entrepreneur Melita Bintz invented the pour-over method, or drip coffee. So this is kind of, now we're starting to see rather than the pressure. And she used blotting paper filters, which was her solution to percolators that tend to overbrew coffees and make them taste bitter. Which, I go camping a lot. We take one of those old school stovetop percolators.
Does make them very, very better.
Yep, and you're like, this is okay, but it's not great.
Yeah.
We'll come back to some more coffee facts here in a little while. How about that? It's interesting, right?
That's pretty good,
You
yeah.
didn't think you were going to learn about coffee today,
Or
did you?
where little Pavoni came from. Yeah, so that's good.
Todd, I touched on this a little bit, but you are an endless font, I think, of energy in the community. How do you stay motivated? How do you maintain your enthusiasm and give so much to the Richmond data community?
Yeah, I think my real story was, I think I'm on the RVA Tech, I think we'll talk about that later, committee, and we had posted about sponsorships. I'm on the committee for the RVA Data and IA Summit, and I posted about that, and Mary at RVA Tech said, oh my God, you posted that. Like, I had a bunch of people reach out to me literally within minutes. I think that kind of reward, or meeting somebody at like our meetup, our data engineering meetup, they're like, oh, I've seen you on LinkedIn. And to me, that's rewarding because people see it's a community. There's real people.
Right.
I'm an over volunteerer. My wife loves and hates me.
I could see you stretching yourself thin. That's what led to this question.
I'm currently stretched a little thin right now. I do stuff at a nonprofit for my high school for my son.
Okay.
In athletics, I run the Athletic Boosters Club. 2 years. I retire this year, thank God. But I don't. It's just my wife and I have always kind of been volunteers. Find a way, and we've instilled in our kids. We hope to give time back, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I think if you can find somebody, make a connection with somebody,
right,
and hey, I remember you, or hey, you did this. I think to me that's the rewarding thing about that. And I think you have to keep community up. I missed it during the COVID years.
Yes,
which we'll all refer to for the rest of our lives, the COVID years.
I know we will. That's
weird,
right?
I missed that. That's like when you reached out to me in that data engineering meetup. I'm like, yes. I don't know how much I can do. I'm like, yes.
Right.
Can we get energy? And I think we've got 63 attendees.
Yeah, tonight, actually, this is I don't know when this episode goes live, but as of today, Todd and I on the RVA Data Engineering Leadership Committee, team, whatever you want to call it, we have the most attendees who have RSVP'd tonight that we've ever had.
Yeah. So that alone is a motivation for me.
Right? That's great.
It's just because you have people that are interested in a topic that want to come out and just create community. I don't know. Because community has always been good to me, so it's just a way to
that's right. It's a give back. And community just doesn't happen by itself, right?
Absolutely.
It takes efforts from people like you. So thank you. I appreciate it. And your name is everywhere. If it's Richmond data, I'm always like, and there's Todd. He's involved.
I have another post I think I got to do today too. For someone else, so
got to keep it going. Got to feed the machine.
Yep.
You touched on this a little bit, but I would love to hear about some of your hobbies. I know you're a big retro gamer. You're big into the hardware. You've given presentations on it before, which were absolutely engrossing. Tell us about your hobbies. I know
because I talked about assembly language.
Hey, assembly is still fun.
It's where I first cut my teeth in technology.
Sure.
I think. That's kind of where I think why I still find that nostalgic connection, back to that type of stuff. Even my almost 25-year-old son, his proud moment was the Lego Ultimate Build Millennium Falcon showed up yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
And he's like,
jealous.
check this out. I'm like, oh man, it's like $800.
Wow.
But he's done good. With his savings money. He's a good guy. I'm proud of my kids. I always brag about them when I get a chance, but I'll hold back. I think it's just that's my hobby is that stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing and being involved with my kids. I have 2 older kids that are adults that are mostly off the payroll, as we refer to.
Right.
And a 17-year-old about to head off to college this fall. I think just watching them grow, flourish, have successful careers, live on their own. Is important to me. I think that's kind of that. Other than the retro gaming, I did buy a gaming PC. This year.
Okay.
Reluctantly,
right,
to my wife, but I find it's just a good way to get away.
Sure.
For me personally.
Well, you got to switch off at some point.
Yeah.
You got to recharge.
Yeah. I don't game till 3 o'clock in the morning. I value sleep.
Yeah. I miss those days, I'll be honest. I don't either,
Sleep?
but I miss. No, gaming till 3 a.m. I'm too old for that now. I have to sleep as well.
Yeah. I value sleep. But, even if I just get to, like, if I go home, after a bad day, or I get off the computer when I'm at home, working from home, and just spend 20 or 30 minutes and just get away, to me, that's highly rewarding.
Good brain reset. Yeah. It's like low stakes, pretty fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. I would love to hear a little bit more about the RVA tech scene and how you came to be a committee member, and maybe even walk us through the inception of the RVA Data Summit, which I've said before in the interview with Aaron Baker. It's like my favorite event of the year, just because it's all my people are here and it's in our hometown. But I'd love to hear about the background of that and how you came to be involved with that.
We had a getaway last Friday with the committee chairs for RVA Tech. Talking about, hey, what is it about this? Do we want to get a little bit bigger or whatnot? But I got involved when I first started at CarMax. We did mess around with Docker. So we got involved in a Docker meetup.
Okay.
And so then that kind of connected to, hey, let's present at the RVA Tech Data Summit. So we, a few of us went. I met Lori Jennings and some other folks there, and just kind of, hey, it's community. Look, I know you, because I knew her from Circuit City days.
She's another font of endless energy.
Yes, she is.
I'm gonna have to get her on here.
You have to get her on there, and she'd probably really love to do this. I got involved, and I thought it was great, and I was like, okay, how can I help?
Right.
I want to help next year. How can I help? Well, we'll get you on the committee to help. I go, what does that mean? I go, I don't know. I'll help. You and me, I'll stick my hand. I'll help. Sounds cool.
Right.
And I was just on the committee helping, form up the tracks and the agenda for the past few years. And then I was fortunate enough last year, Brian Bassett asked myself, I'll go do it if Aaron Baker does it. I go, because I knew I would be a little bit overcommitted. I currently am.
There you go.
Overcommitted.
Yep. You know your boundaries.
But I think it's just the right thing to do. I just love that now we kind of picked up and added AI, just like everybody else, to that.
Sure, have to.
I think it's great. I think it's it's about local communities, and we even talk about this in the committees, like, who do we want to present? We've got a Sharon Guy, who's our keynote speaker, done tons of TEDx presentations and whatnot. So she's speaking. I think we're very fortunate to have her. And then we've got some really cool. We had over 100 submissions, and we only have 20 slots.
That's amazing.
And so we're doing a panel. I think you're lucky enough to help us with the panel, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
we had to make some really hard choices, who in, who out. Probably still going to be a plan B for me, so we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take it. I'll be your silver medal any day.
So we might need some plan Bs to fill in for some people. And I just think it's a great event. Like last year, I think we got close to 400. I can't remember the number. Nick will punish me if I don't say the right number. Nick Surface.
We'll cut this if it's wrong. We'll fact check it. Cut it.
It doesn't matter. Nick will just laugh at me. It's okay. And I think just the sheer community of people. I mean, I met so many people that I still connect with, or they'll ask me questions on LinkedIn or through text. That just through that event.
It's a great event, and it's I love to see it continue to grow and kind of take on a life of its own. It's awesome. I always look forward to it every year. So, all right, let's talk about some more coffee facts.
Here we go.
And then we'll come right back. All right, how about that? All right. In 1927, WMF Group, which was a former subsidiary of, Göppingen, Germany, manufactured the first series of its drip coffee machines. So this is 1927. WMF Group, I'm not familiar with. It probably merged into something else, and I don't have that trivia here, so you'll have to go look that up at home, folks.
All right.
But 1929, the original French press was invented. I would have thought it was older than that, to be honest with you. I was kind of surprised it was 29.
1800 or something like that.
Yeah.
drip, but maybe that's what the pour over be.
Yeah. Well, you know, the French press is just makes for a good cup. And but Italians, Attilio Calamani and Giulio Moneta patented that design. So the French press was invented and then got patented.
By
I told you there's this you know, kind of ongoing coffee battle, the mini coffee wars. We'll talk a little bit. We're getting into the modern era shortly thereafter. There's a lot of hype, a lot of noise, a lot of buzz in the tech space. How do you personally navigate the constant stream of information, much of it with a marketing spin? How do you navigate that and kind of, you know, cut through the noise to really understand what's happening in the scene?
I think it's always been my knack. People are like, how do you understand that? It's like, I have to go understand it myself.
Sure.
Whether I go and physically do that or I do enough reading to understand things. I think, you know, everyone has an open AI model or thing or an LLM thing that solves everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think to me, that's some of the noise. You said there's a lot of noise right now.
Sure.
Much more so, I think, than like blockchain. I saw some things. Someone's at a conference talking about blockchain. I saw on LinkedIn. I'm like, blockchain?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think, you know, you have to go into it with kid gloves and step into it. Makes you understand. You know,
Yeah.
you know, anyone that kind of reaches out to me and says, "This is a secret sauce. You want to
Right.
talk? I'm going to go look at what you offer, who you are, where you're at, and I will actually look at it before I respond to you.
Sure.
And I'll give you a nice response because I just feel everyone deserves a decent. You won't get a nice response from me, but everyone deserves.
Fair
a nice
enough.
response.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think I think that the hype on that stuff, just all the solutions that are out there. There's so many things out there right now.
Right. Right.
You know, eventually it'll calm down. I don't know when, but I think, you know, at the core, you really got to think about. It's kind of funny. Long story short, I reposted a job in our Gen AI space that we're recruiting for. You know, my brother-in-law, who's out in California, I think they're in the fantasy sports and that kind of analytics stuff. Who was on and whatnot. And he's asking about, oh, I got this guy. He got solve for this. Where I go, look, we're not trying to solve the world. We're trying to really focus on real use cases that can really help us at CarMax, or help our business and ROI. We're just not out there experimenting. I think that's kind of the key thing. You got to find something that is really value add to your business. My wife's in real estate. She's an operations manager. Her boss, I was into a presentation on AI. My wife's like, I don't even know what this means. I'm like, what is she trying to solve with that stuff? You know, it's like, you just don't go do it by somebody from somebody because they have it.
Sure. You got to start with the why.
Yeah.
Why do we need this? What's it going to do for us?
What's the value add? The W's. What, why, when, and what, why, where, and when.
Who?
Who? Yeah. Who? And I think that's the thing. I think it's just I have a natural curiosity for that. I think that's kind of what got me back into retro and assembly language that I learned.
Right.
It's just my overall natural curiosity to how it works.
Sure.
Did I tear things apart, break electronics apart when I was a kid? No, I was into the electronic pieces and things like that. And back then it was older rheostats and stuff like that. That's what I wanted to understand.
Right.
So it's just the natural curiosity. I think anyone who's in technology space, you know, I tell my kid Max, they're a software engineer here, you know, you just have natural curiosity.
Yeah.
You know, just don't come into your job. But if you do something and it's challenging, write it down and
keep learning, keep growing, because
learning.
things change like this.
They change like that, and just kind of just be naturally curious to.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, I love it. So on that topic, in the context of data and AI, I have kind of two questions. First, what are you most excited for? What do you think maybe stands to be the most revolutionary?
I can rewrite my resume in ChatGPT.
Okay, there you go. That's important.
No, not really. I think those are all tools, like, you know, Copilots for help you coding, Copilots for helping you make decisions. You know, using, you know, a ChatGPT engine or something to help you find an answer. I think we as humans have to be smarter in how we use those tools.
Sure.
So if you're just using those blindly to get your answers and create your resume, I think it's incorrect.
Right.
But if you put it in there in the context and you read from it, if you can learn, okay, maybe I need to reword my words. Great. Don't copy and paste it.
Right.
You know, you'll see things when people just like, oh, I just repeated that, and I did here's the answer.
Right.
But you know, I think it's fun. But I think when it comes to real world applications, you really have to step into it and just be a smarter human in using that. Know when I'm going to use it, know why I'm using it.
Right. Integrate it into how you work and don't rely on it.
Yeah, it's a tool or capability. That's another thing you put on your tool belt to get your job done or educate yourself on how to get your job done.
Yeah.
Don't rely on it completely.
Yeah. for me, the number one thing is if I get stuck, if I'm writer's block or something, I'm like, okay, how could I word this? And then you typically read it and you're like, okay, you're close. But it gave me enough juice to pick it back up and run with it in my own voice.
It's a tool.
Right.
It's a tool. I think it's awesome. I think if you see like some of the things that are coming out with the Office suite, I'm hoping we get it someday here. I know we're testing it, in Outlook, and it summarizes your emails and kind of summarizes stuff and can summarize the attachments.
Right.
It's a tool to help me
Right.
prioritize what's in my inbox or to understand things. But it's got to learn from that. I think,
Right.
Do you let it learn on all your words in your inbox?
Right.
I just don't. Ethically, I don't know. That's why it's a tool or capability.
Yeah.
The ethnicity of some of that stuff, I don't know if I have a complete answer on that.
Yeah. Well, that leads me into my next question, which is less so about what you're most excited for. What keeps you up at night about AI? I mean, the world is changing very rapidly, and people are embracing this.
I'm worried a Terminator is going to knock at my door.
I am a little bit too.
You know,
You see those Boston Dynamics robots, and you're like, oof,
those are super cool.
I no longer feel like I could beat one of those in a fight.
It's not the Terminator knocking at my door. I just worry that people will do things nefarious, and I worry that.
Of course.
There was a news article yesterday which I saved on my phone, never went back and read. It's political. I don't like talking about politics.
Understood.
It was a political robocall, either in New Hampshire or whatnot, and they said it was completely AI driven. And
Right.
even I think the electoral board or whatever, I'm over paraphrasing because I've not read it. They said, yeah, it was just a robocall that was done through AI.
Purely AI.
And that frightens me because people will listen to that. What also frightens me too, I think these days, are people just faking things, or the notorious email says, oh, your Norton antivirus expired, your computer's
Right.
exposed, and I had a friend's mom do that, and
It happens
gave them
all the
money.
time. Yeah.
And you're just like, I worry that people will just get taken advantage of. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, and all the signs you can use to spot those malicious phishing, all those things, attempts are going to get harder to spot because Gen AI is going to make them better.
My wife, I got a call from a voicemail from an internet provider, not one of their local ones, but they're in other areas, won't use their name. And they're asking, for information. So then she hey, give us a call back. So she called it back to see what they're asking for. She started asking for her name, her phone number, and her address. She's like, never mind, and hung up. She's like, that was a scam. I'm like, absolutely. I mean, they're as simple as that.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
People will, my wife knows, she's very cautious, and I did that, and I sent it to my, my family text group with my kids. Like, just ignore these things. If someone really needs you and they need your information, they will send you a piece of mail.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It'll look legit. Just know who you deal with, know who you are. That's kind of stuff worries me. It's just people taking advantage.
Yeah, and it's going to get harder to spot as time goes on.
Spot because we have people that just aren't keeping up with that, and that's okay.
Right.
And it just makes me sad.
Yeah, I know. It's rough. Well, let's make you happy with some more coffee facts. How about that? Moving forward in our timeline of coffee accoutrement, the mocha pot. You familiar with the mocha pot?
Yeah, it's that stovetop thing.
It's like a percolator. Yeah.
I don't know. Is it percolator really?
It's like
It's like
heats it up.
steam
Yeah.
more than drip. I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. I've never owned one, so we'll give the facts for people who know more than we do. This came into the picture in 1933 by Italian engineer Alfonso Bialetti. Filed for the copyright. He named it after Mocha, a city in Yemen. These days, of course, mocha is used as a term for coffee with chocolate in it. So sort of led that way. I think people started adding cocoa beans to their mocha pot to make a mocha. So you can fact check me on that because this is outside of my area of expertise. But let's get into my area of expertise, which is the drip coffee maker. In 1954, the drip coffee maker was upgraded to turn it into an electric device. So this is the first time you can plug your drip coffee maker in. 1954. The original one was called the Wigomat and was invented in Germany by Gottlob Widmann. I've probably horribly pronounced every single one of these names. Yeah, here I'll have Todd fact check me here.
Wigomat.
Yeah.
Wow. Gottlieb.
You know what? I bet you there's some of these still kicking about. Like devices from that time.
Oh, yeah, they still
were made to last. Someone out there is still
Because they're
drinking
made out of
coffee.
steel and lead.
That's right. That's right.
Rubber.
They have lead poisoning, but
Steel, lead, and rubber. It still works.
That's right. It's got an iron casing. I'm gonna find one on eBay. We're gonna buy one and try it out. We've already touched on this a little bit, Todd. Do you have any predictions for the next 5 to 10 years? There's no wrong answers here. It's the Wild West right now, like it often is in tech.
I think, I don't know if I can predict, and I always like when people do that prediction because people are like, oh, did you see so-and-so said this or that?
Yeah.
I love Microsoft, Satya Nadella, not because I like Microsoft, but because I just think he's a great leader.
Yeah.
I think, it's just all these tools and capabilities. I think does somebody solve our email problems? No. Does someone solve our Slack or Teams chat problems? Right. No. But if they can make things that are just super easy to summarize for me, hey, I need to go pay attention to this, pay attention. If something can tell me, like this morning when I came in, the guys were doing I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, a lot of chat going on, some work I'm doing. And I wish that someone could just tell me to kind of catch up on these or pay attention to these things. That's interesting to me. I think if something can make my job easier from the standpoint of summarizing what I need to pay attention to, not pay attention to,
right.
I think that'd be great. I think, I would love AI to solve streaming. This goes way off key for us.
Okay.
But I have to subscribe to all these streaming services because I want to pick one thing that I want to watch for the time being. I love I can subscribe to it and then unsubscribe to it. That's a win for me. But I just, would AI just kind of not only make my work life easier, but my home life easier from the standpoint of, why can't I have a thing that helps me pick? And I'm happy to pay $2.99 to watch a show or, micro payments of, because you subscribe to this, it's 99 cents.
Isn't it awful how much of a pain streaming's been? Like when it first you're like, oh, this is great. And now I'm like, I'm just paying what I was paying for cable, but to 9 different providers.
I think I'm paying more than I was paying.
And I can't keep track. I'm like, do I need to cancel that one?
Yeah.
Give me a one-stop shop.
So what I do is on my phone, the kids ask for Hulu. I'll subscribe, and then I subscribe, pay for it, and then I unsubscribe.
Oh, that's smart.
That's
and it lasts through the payment?
Lasts through the payment for that
really
1 month,
smart.
and then I'm good. I go.
That's really smart.
I just wish. I think everyone's focused on AI solving my work and company and corporate challenges.
Yeah.
Somebody can find something that helps my life challenges.
Yeah.
Streaming's the one I got.
Okay, streaming's good. There's a lot of applications. In fact, I've been using ChatGPT. We'll come up with like, hey, what are we going to eat for dinner this week? And we'll say, here's our meal plan. Can you build me a grocery list and organize it by sections of the grocery? It absolutely does. You have to do a little bit of curating, but for the most part, I print it right off and it says, okay, in the dairy section, you need all of these things. It occasionally does some funky stuff, like it put broccoli in dairy, but it's learning, it's getting there. That's a fun use case. We now.
So why doesn't somebody come up with an app for that? Yeah. Why are we all focused on?
I know, right?
Everything in the corporate cut, maybe because they.
Are we? Should we do that? Yeah. Okay, we'll cut this.
Never mind.
We're gonna go to market with this. We're gonna help you pick your meals.
I grocery and it does the whole Instacart thing. I don't do Instacart, but the whole. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Taking it from A to Z. These are the meals I want. It says, cool, I'm going to go ahead and place that order for you. You just go pick it up tomorrow. You're like, okay, done.
My wife and I committed after the first year to cooking dinner at least 2 times a week.
Yeah. We've been really trying.
Not worked out.
It's hard. It's really hard.
It's very hard. And that would make life easier, I think.
Yeah.
I think. But I wish it would know what I have in my cupboards and the spices I have and what's in my fridge. Like, why can't the fridge know what I have in my fridge?
They do exist.
And why can't I have a thing, like, you've seen that rabbit thing?
Yeah, I pre-ordered one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I want to see. I just want to play with it.
I pre-ordered something in technology, never came to fruition. So I'm off that boat.
It might not.
And then it's something, like if that rabbit could look in my pantry and identify what I have in my pantry and say, okay, here's your grocery list for the week.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest
Use
thing.
what I have.
Do I need butter?
How possible is that, though?
Do I need cheese?
All you have to do, there's image recognition is great. You see that? It's commercially viable now. Take a picture, show out your spices, take a picture, show my fridge. There are fridges now that have a barcode scanner. You scan the things as you're putting them in the fridge, and it keeps track of what you have.
But,
that's more of a pain.
It's a pain.
It's more of a
Why
pain.
can't it just know?
Take a picture. I bet you that exists. I bet
that
you there's
fridge
a fridge
probably
right
costs
now.
at least $5,000.
That's it. It's not consumer grade yet. Yeah.
But if they could make people's lives easier, I think, and that's what I hope AI can get to, is make our home lives easier.
Yeah.
And not creepy.
Right.
Like, Amazon Alexa says.
I got rid of all those. The thought of Amazon hearing every conversation. Look, I know.
We still have it because I like to.
That's a little tinfoil hat. I know. But I was like, I don't know. I'm a little uncomfortable with that aspect of it. But every company knows everything about me anyway, so maybe I shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're worried about your data privacy, then you need to go check your phone, check your email.
That's true. That's true.
Check your computer.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
But
check who you shared your data.
it was one thing just too far beyond the pale. And, that's just me. I got my tinfoil.
Pick your battles.
I got to pick my battles.
So if AI could, my prediction is AI needs to get consumer rich and affordable to a consumer or easily accessible to consumers.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of use cases. I think we'll see more of that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, let's go into our final round of coffee facts before our final question.
Awesome.
And we can wrap this up. Okay, so the next revolution in coffee machines happened in 1961 when the first pump-driven espresso machines were commercially available. Manual force was no longer needed as it used a motorized pump to produce the pressure. I didn't realize the older ones didn't, but thinking back, that makes sense. Yeah. Thanks to this invention, present-day coffee production keeps on using this technique. So that's when espresso machines were no longer hand-cranked, I guess. But here is the last one. Here's the last final fact that's very applicable to our lives. 1972, it was Mr. Coffee that popularized the automatic drip coffee maker through an aggressive marketing campaign. The project successfully replaced the percolator as the most used brewing method in the US, which is interesting because if you travel abroad, not a lot of drip coffee makers.
No.
Not a lot. It's very rare. We traveled to New Zealand last year, and I never saw a single drip coffee maker. You couldn't buy them. We stopped at the stores.
They made the coffee. They didn't drip.
It's all made. And every gas station had a nice big espresso machine. It was available everywhere. They loved their coffee. No drip coffee machines. That is kind of a uniquely American.
Might be a law in Europe, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I wonder.
No drip coffee.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I traveled to Dublin some years ago, and that was the thing too. It's like I'm going to try coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, they had Starbucks. That's a staple.
Sure.
But like where you at dinner, they made the coffee. There was no drip. They made the coffee. Either it was a pour over or it was
an
Americano.
Americano.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. It was all thanks to good marketing.
I'll give you an A on the trivia.
Oh, A on trivia. I'll take it. Todd, first of all, I appreciate you for taking the time today. I got one last question for you, and I think this is one that should be near and dear to you. What advice would you give for someone starting their career in technology? And you've gone through this recently with your kid coming to CarMax.
Yeah, I think it's I got an older son and a younger son. They care that technology works and they can do their gaming. Mm-hmm. That's all they care. My older son's a Black Hawk pilot, which is okay. It's public, so he's super smart.
Very
super
cool.
proud of him. But so he's using some things in there. So use it. But my daughter's got my kid Max got that naturally curiosity stuff and that stuff in the inner workings and that stuff, and I thrive off that. I think I just thrive off that. I think, understand, what if you're passionate about it. If you're getting into technology because you want to make money, wrong reason.
Sure.
If you're getting into technology because you like it and you like certain things about it, find your passion where you're at.
That's right.
I love when people come, hey Todd, how do I get involved in machine learning? How do I get more involved in AI or how does stuff? You go learn. What have you done personally to grow yourself? On that stuff. If you're I'm doing dashboards at work, but hey, I've done these couple, AI projects and computer vision projects at home, and I've done this stuff. Be that natural. I like people that are more naturally curious and they've done stuff on the side. We've got a couple engineers I know. They publish some stuff on LinkedIn that they're working on the side. I think that's cool stuff. I think if you want to get involved, just find something that you like. Don't get involved in because that's the next big thing, and there's all kinds of jobs.
Sure.
For the wrong reason.
Sure. And there's endless things to get involved in.
Just be passionate about it. At the end of the day, you still need people that really understand how data connects and how data comes together and how to format it and move it and engineer it and all data. You still need all that stuff. There's tools that are going to help you make your job easier. They're emerging and coming out. I think that's fine. But, find where your passion is in that stuff. The hard part of all this stuff is the math. You got to understand some of the math. If you're just using it and running the models and reading some articles and running that stuff, and you're like, oh, it's cool. My natural curiosity, okay, what's the math behind
How does this work? What's under the hood?
Yeah, we had a presenter at RVA Tech last year, Hala Nelson. I bought her book. It's the mathematics underneath machine learning. It's really deep, but it's cool. She's a math professor at JMU.
Okay.
She published a book, one of those big O'Reilly books.
Yeah.
It was super interesting. I'm not publicizing a book, but I bought it because I was just curious.
Sure.
I got into it. I'm like, wow, this is some serious math. I
Yeah.
loved math, but that's some serious math.
Yeah, I probably would have trouble following. I'd get to that point when I'm like,
You know,
okay.
so my curiosity is why does that math apply? You know, and everyone's-
Right.
You know, my older son is like, why did I need calculus or linear algebra? I go, it's completely applicable these days.
Totally applicable.
Completely applicable these days.
Yes.
He goes, well, tell me how I use that today. But now he knows. He's gone through
Right.
flight school.
Right.
Now he gets it.
Sure.
Because they not only teach him how to use the technology, they also teach him old school.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah.
Which is great. So I think it's applicable now. Now my 17-year-old, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So it's-
Why do I have to learn this? It's so funny though. All that stuff, especially in technology, it really does matter later in life. You would have never thought it. Yeah.
I had to explain to him because he's a big gamer, big Fortnite person, ping in milliseconds. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
well, Dad, my MS is wrong. I go, what's your MS?
Yeah.
Like, if you could explain to me what MS means, it's your milliseconds,
Yeah.
your ping, your delay,
Your latency.
your latency, and that. He's like, then I had to explain to him latency is. I'm like, okay, latency is when
Yeah.
I'm talking to you on a cell phone across the parking lot. You see my mouth moving. You don't hear my voice till a bit
Right.
after that. That's latency. And I go, that's what that stuff means. And so it's just I just you have to be curious.
Yeah.
Find something you're passionate about. Go to conferences and network
Right.
with people. Come to the data engineering meetup.
That's right.
Not an advertisement, but it's an
Engineering Network.
advertisement.
I think it's fair if we advertise it.
And RVA Tech in March. I think come to those things. There's also
Yes.
CyberCon that's coming up in
Right.
February, and and go to those things and network with people and find out what you're curious about.
Yeah.
I had someone on LinkedIn that reached out to me, wanted to get involved in cybersecurity. They work on their certificates for this and that. I go, dude, that's great. You got to find someone who's got an entry level job for you, and continue to be passionate. What are you doing on the side?
Right.
And they kind of describe for me doing something. Okay, great. You're naturally curious. Awesome.
Right.
Check.
Right.
So
That's it. Okay.
long-winded answer.
I love it. It's a great answer. Todd, thank you so much for joining me.
awesome.
This has been awesome. So
That's awesome. I appreciate it.
until next time, let's toast to knowledge and connection one episode at a time. See y'all next time on The Data Pour.